Yo, what is up guys, it is Arcus here. It has been a long time since I've done one of these videos. Hopefully I can get back into them. So the title of this video, how to improve your game sense. Now, I know the term game sense is kind of tossed around a lot, and one of the reasons I don't rank beyond unicorn at all actually, is due to the lack of game sense people, like a lot of survivors around that tier have. Now, it's all, fine and fancy being able to kite Hunter for 5 ciphers. But let's say you can't kite a Hunter for 5 ciphers, and I hear a lot of stories of people kiting a Hunter for 100 seconds, and that should be a win, right? But lack of communication and poor game sense means that the Hunters are able to come back. So this video is going to be sort of talking about how to improve your game sense as both a survivor and a Hunter, and I've narrowed it down to sort of 3 methods of doing this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So the 3 ways are, first way is dual faction, players who play both Hunter and Survivor. I'll go more into detail on these later. Number 2, reviewing your own gameplay. It's very hard to do this because no one wants to save a game where they got clapped, but watching that back, especially with other people, it may hurt your ego, but if they can give you advice on it, then it'll work. And then reviewing pro gameplay, such as Koa gameplay, and reviewing my own gameplay and Koa gameplay is what I'll be doing in this video. So yeah. So what is game sense? Simply put, it's just common sense in game, right? It's essentially just general decision making and awareness from either Survivor or the Hunter. As the Hunter is sort of the awareness of where the survivors are, where the rescue might be coming from, which you can tell from which ciphers have stopped wiggling. And as a survivor, it's sort of like the certain mind games the Hunters want to play on you. So an example of poor game sense would be this right here. You throw this pallet down the wrong side, you don't vault it. Alright. Vaulting that will get you terror shocked early game. That's poor game sense, okay, because that's a very poor decision. I didn't outplay her or anything. I was just like a small mind game and got the terror shock. So how can this be improved by dual faction? Right, let me show you some screenshots of my season stats from season 1 to now, essentially. So obviously, apart from the, absolutely sexy win rates, you can tell I was more of a survivor main in the early seasons. Now come season 5, let's not look at the win rates on that. That is kind of a disgrace. Anyway, but you can see I was more of a survivor main, right? And I can tell you for a fact I was not as good of a player as when I started playing Hunter. Season 8 was the first time I started playing Hunter a little bit, but not really. And then I tried pushing in season 11. It'll always be a regret. I never reached Manticore. But come season 12, I then started playing Hunter less casually and more more seriously. And then come season 13, 14, 15, I started essentially maining Hunter. So contrary to what a lot of people think, I'm not a Hunter main, I'm a Survivor main. It's just that I've been playing Hunter lately because it actually improves my game sense. Now I can tell you for a fact, the win rates are misleading because I play on 4-man VC, but I can tell you for a fact that even if my kiting hasn't improved, my game sense and knowledge has improved from playing Hunter. Okay, and a lot of players will tell you this. It is the best way to improve your Survivor game sense to play as Hunter. And the thing is that like if you're struggling to counter Bonbon, let's say, right, is you play Bonbon in rank, and unless you're low tier or mid tier, in which people just genuinely can't kite Bonbon, if you're in mid to high tier, people know how to counter Bonbon, okay? And once you get destroyed as Bonbon, because it will eventually happen, you can't be undefeated forever. Once you get destroyed as Bonbon, you save that game and you watch exactly what that survivor did, because chances are they did something well, okay? Sometimes it's you messing up and you're like, alright, well I can improve that. But if they destroyed you and it's that like the way they played destroyed you and it wasn't your fault necessarily, and you played alright but they destroyed you, then you implement what they did into your gameplay, and you do that as Survivor, as Hunter, and that's a very good way of firstly improving like your kiting and your chase as a Hunter, but also improving your game sense. So this is on my own gameplay. I'm going to look at this from the Survivor's perspective because this is my alt account, and although it's in, I think, Saber 3 or 2, the Survivors around this tier aren't the best, right? So I'm going to show you what essentially the Survivors did wrong. Now, I don't really lose much on this account. I've got a win rate of 93%, and every time I lose it's due to lag. or entomologist being broken against my river. Anyway, I have too much pride on this account to save a game that I lose. So this prisoner throws his pallet down, and he runs out of shack and goes to the left here, and this is a dead area. He should have gone to the right and headed towards those 2 pallets that potentially lead him into hospital. Because this here is a dead area. Like, I can get it. I get a hit on him here, and where's he gonna go? Right, he's got nowhere to go. Break the pallet, and he's kind of trapped here. So this, like, okay, right, I'm not the best sculptor, right, by nowhere near. And also I think my ping was about 160 this game, so it was a little bit spiky. Since my usual is 110, 120. So yeah, so I got the early down on the prisoner, and that could have been avoided. He could have pulled a 60-second if he rotated towards hospital, because obviously that area is broken. Now here's me kind of just harassing the seer, get a nice little statue on him. But that's kind of what I meant to point out there, is like, if the prisoner wanted to know how he could improve that kite he did, obviously like watching this video might help him, but if he saved that game and then realised that that wasn't the best area to kite to, he should have gone into hospital. That's improving his game sense from reviewing his own gameplay. So now let's watch some Koa gameplay. Before the ICLs, I'd watch a lot of Koa gameplay, like old Koas obviously, or IVLs from China, because these players know exactly what to do, right? Now, I muted the commentators because I know the commentators do talk some good stuff, but I want to talk about it myself. So, the things I picked up from this Anne, right, is when just gaining distance, if you throw the cats to the right or the left, and then it split them instantly, get a quick dash off and then split them instantly. Sorry, explode them instantly. Because it activates the cooldown faster, and you get some quick distance on the survivors. Now, a lot of you probably saw this Anne dodge on the quad flare gun. This was like utterly insane, okay? This is like game sense at its finest, right? Because she knew the coordinator was going to flare gun there, and what a dodge. That was, I mean, that was amazing. Anyway, so hits the coordinator, and there's a couple of other things I wanted to point out in this game that I picked up on, and like I do implement into my AM gameplay now. So he knew he was teleporting to the cipher, threw the cats out, and then teleported, splits the cats, and then pulls them across instantly so he can get on the coordinator. That gained distance on the coordinator very quickly and got a pretty quick down. Now, another thing I noticed in Koa was a lot of survivors, they'd run wildling, and the wildling would kind of sit near the chair, so the hunter couldn't go and harass other ciphers to promote cipher rush. And then the wildling, obviously, if the hunter was like harassing the wildling could, well, because he's on a wildling, he's on his boar. He is, you know, he can escape the hunter, and he also has the opportunity to potentially go for the rescue. And that's what the survivors did in this game. GG obviously went on to win it, I believe. If I got that wrong, I'm so sorry. I think it was GG. It began with G. Okay, that's all I know. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna be killed for that. Anyway, so yeah, she's promoting the mechanic, I believe, and the mercenary to cipher rush, and then the wildling's kind of just chilling around here. So the Anne can't really harass ciphers because the wildling's threatening rescue. So yeah, that's a good game sense on the survivor's side. Now, I think the wildling ends up not going for the rescue, and they end up selling the cord to get some cipher progress done. Now, this is where the Anne really steps it up, okay, because Anne is a TIE hunter. Anne is the new TIE queen, I think. I think that's what people were referring to her as. Because obviously BQ is a massive TIE hunter, and everyone sort of, you know, laughed at the fact BQ was a TIE hunter. But that role is now moved on to Anne, okay? So the Anne knew that the wildling's pig duration was about to run out, or, you know, fairly soon. So she was like, alright, I can commit to him. Okay? And then she gets a hit on him, and I think so she continues chasing him. She should have just walked through the pallet. Look at me correcting Koa Hunter's gameplay. Anyway, so there, she exploded the cats before she hit the wildling, okay, because the wildling was still on stun, and the reason she exploded the cats there was to activate the cooldown faster, so she get her cats back quicker. So, and then obviously therefore get her quicker down. So this dashing here, through the pallet, smash the pallet, and boom, down he goes. So that was a little thing just there. There's a really good play that Anne makes on the mechanic fairly soon, which I picked up on, and like I want to talk about that because I wasn't doing that before. So she wastes. I'm gonna pause it here. She wastes the tide. Okay, so she doesn't camp, and she wastes the tide to try and like stop Cypher Rush, because that last Cypher is her nemesis. She needs to stop that last Cypher. Okay, I'm gonna play it now. Now this play is very interesting here. Okay, she throws the cats and doesn't split them. Okay, because she's close to the mechanic. She then hits the mechanic, and the cats automatically split when they reach the end of their line. Right. She then pulls them back in when the mechanic's going, and they get onto her, and that's a very, very quick down. Okay, that's a very interesting play. I haven't seen that done before. I mean, obviously people probably have done it, but I personally haven't. So I picked up on that. So what she did there, she's controlling the ciphers by she's pushing the mechanic off the cipher. She's also going to chair the mechanic near the cipher to again be able to assert cipher pressure while camping. And then it also meant the mercenary was rescuing the wildling, and since he had tide, he couldn't heal up the wildling, so the wildling is now one hit while the mercenary has to go for this rescue. So she's constantly she's what's the word? I don't know, she's multitasking, that's the word. She's multitasking between camping the cipher and camping the mechanic, and downing and camping the mechanic. Now she makes a very good play on the wildling pretty soon, but she gets the cats on, explodes them so he can't decode, and then goes and picks up the mechanic. So she's going to put the mechanic on chair, and this is a very good play she makes here, right? So she cats the wildling, and the wildling's just like, okay, she's just catting me to assert cipher pressure, right? So the wildling, I think, gets off his pig. Yeah, so he's off his pig. Don't know if that's from the cooldown or if he just got off. She puts the things on the cipher. Okay, so the wildling has been catted, and rather than exploding, she surprises him and jumps towards him. Okay, downs him. That means he's back. He can go back on chair. The mechanic is also dead on chair now, and obviously the mercenary is still full health. I think I can't remember if the wildling's dead on chair. We'll see. Okay, no, he's not. I didn't think he was. And now the mechanic, they were only pressuring that one cipher there at back gate, so they don't have a cipher now worked on. Mechanic is bottom broken, so she's going to start a new cipher. She's going to have to do that one, or as you can see what she's doing, she's opening a chest. So mercenary comes to rescue, and I don't know what I would have done as a LAN here. I think I would have double hit the mercenary, but securing the down on the wildling also worked because he could have got back on his pig. So again, that's I would have double hit the mercenary, but I think downing the wildling was probably a better decision. Now she knows mercenary's gone this way. She doesn't know whereabouts, and she pulls the cats in, and she would have seen him there. So she exposed the cat so he can't use his ability, and then goes and smacks him. And obviously she's playing for a 4K, so this isn't really game sense anymore. But as you can see, the way I sort of analysed that, like a lot of the stuff the Ann did, I haven't done before. And that's the kind of the way you have to look at these pro gameplays. And I did this a lot with Survivor gameplay too, when practicing for tournaments and ICLs. So I hope this video has been educational and helpful for people. I don't often make these sort of like educational videos. It's just that I see so much lack of game sense from survivors these days. It is actually painful. And I also obviously everyone hears stories about people's randoms like constantly. So I mean, if your game sense possibly isn't the best and you don't really realise it, then hopefully this video might help you. If not, that's okay. you can click that dislike. But yeah, this is the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. See ya.